Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Don for Don Alpha channel. Today we are doing a second episode of our GINR, which is pretty much the global international interesting news reviews. Pretty much that's what we'll be doing this week. I'll be doing these reviews, looking back at some of the stuff which has been happening and some current stuff which is happening as I speak. So today we start with just congratulating Nigeria for the commissioning the 19 billion project which recently got completed, and that's the biggest refinery in Africa, which is a petrochemical plant, which is pretty much a refinery. I saw a lot of African presidents being there, being present when it was being commissioned. That's really awesome, and we think that will help Africa development. It's a good thing for Africa, especially reducing the money on importing petrol wherever we have been importing, maybe India or Saudi Arabia, where there are big refineries. Now you can get it from Africa, in Africa. That's really awesome. Congratulations on that one. We'll move on to the LGBTQ bill, which was signed in Uganda by Museveni. This has been crazy because when you look at online, especially in America, the news which has been coming out of America is interesting. So Joe Biden wanted to sanction Uganda for signing this bill into law. But when you look at it, it's kind of controversial because in other nations, like especially in the Middle East, when you look at Saudi Arabia, Blinken is in Saudi Arabia as I'm speaking right now. I don't think you mentioned anything about LGBT. This is the questions Africans are having now. Like, is it this kind of selective application of sanctions, or the sanctions are being applied to everybody? Because in Qatar, they just hosted the World Cup, and the sports minister there said, when he was asked about this LGBT, he just said it's the problem of the mind, it's a mind sickness. And no one challenged him. And they know the culture as well. And these countries are rich and they got a lot of oil. And America has got 20,000 soldiers in Qatar. So if they wanted to do anything to Qatar, they could have just used their 20,000 military personnel which are in Qatar. But now they come to Africa. Museveni put his bill and trying to protect the family, keep on behaving the way our communities have been behaving and our own morals in Africa. And then you'll find out what America is saying. I don't know what the public outcry is all about, but because the gay people, to be honest, they've been there. It's just the way they are being promoted. That's what's alarming to most of these nations, because in any society, the gay people are there, but no one goes around into door by door like, who are you sleeping with, or can you put this on the national television? Especially if you are saying it's an abnormality. It would be weird that you are promoting the abnormality to sort of being normal, to normalize it. That's the weird part. That's where the whole argument is. Like they are saying that some doctors came out and said that no one is born gay, pretty much, but it's a matter of psychological effect as you grow up, and whatever you encounter probably will make you being gay later in your lifetime. Studies has also shown that anal sex spreads our AIDS faster than the heterosexual way, because when a man and a man is having sex, the anus doesn't produce natural lubricants, so you need that artificial lubricant to use so that you'll be able to have sex. If you don't use that, you're bound to have bruises, cuts, and all this kind of stuff, which will spread HIV. And even the muscles, sometimes they don't stretch the same way as those of the vagina. So you will be still spreading HIV because of these little bruises which happens at the backside. That's pretty much what I've heard. So you can do more research on it, or somebody who has got more knowledge can come and discuss. It's not like we are attacking anybody. It's just a matter of discussing things as they are coming out from the Museveni LGBTQ bill, and which has been passed to law. So looking at this, it has been an issue trying to sanction nations, and I don't know, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird the way the sanctions are being applied, because we know that U.S., America, and Australia, they do a lot of business. The whole of Europe do a lot of business with Qatar, with the Middle Eastern countries who are really, really, really rich in oil, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. It's just the same as the smart energy, which is being peddled in Africa. We see doing a lot of environmental summits and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy because when you look at it, it's kind of already failed. It's a failed application of the law when you're talking about, especially when you're talking about the energy, because when you look at energy, pretty much like talking about smart cars. Smart cars cannot take you throughout the continent, like, or throughout the nation. Like to drive from probably here to from Melbourne to Perth. You cannot use a smart car because it runs out of battery, and then when you want to charge it, it takes like 4 hours. So imagine if everybody was driving a smart car. They need to take like 4 hours charging their car. It becomes really crazy because you have to wait to take recess when you want to charge it for 4 hours. And it's not just that you get a pump waiting for you or the charger waiting for you. There will be somebody charging and you have to wait. So 4 hours probably will move to maybe 20 hours to 10 hours to 15 hours because of the queue. And so that way, I don't think the fossil fuels will be eliminated, and now we use like all smart energy and all this kind of stuff. So pretty much it's some of the things they implement, but you know that it's going to fail. Especially look at here, like you're driving a heavy truck. Probably it needs even more than 4 hours to charge. And how are you going to do it? You're driving from, let's say in Africa, you're driving from South Africa to Congo. How many recesses you need to charge it? Probably for 9 hours. And you only drive probably for 8 hours. Oh, my car now is going to run out of battery in 8 hours. That's kind of weird, man. So I don't think it will work. Fossil fuels will always be there. And do we get something really solid, which can travel without stopping to your destination, or you stop just like what we are doing right now at the fuel pump. You just stop for 2-3 minutes, you're done, depending on how many people are there and which country you are in. So it doesn't take that long. You know what I mean? Some places you can even pay on the pump, and some places you have to get inside and pay. But it's very quick. It doesn't take so long, like 4 hours, 9 hours. I need to charge my truck. So some of these policies they are implementing, but I don't think they will work. It doesn't really work for everybody. So it's kind of those gray areas, whereby you think like, in Qatar, you're going to Saudi Arabia. Why are you not talking about it? You're going to, but you come to the poor nations, which is Africa, right? So that's the need. We need to develop Africa. For some reason, we have to work hard and develop Africa, finding good leaders, just like what Kagame have done to Rwanda. Because you can say anything you want about Kagame, but if he was spending a lot of money for himself, enriching himself only, and not enriching the nation and not developing the nation could be just still at the same place as it is, and he'll be having mansions in Qatar and wherever, all over the world. But that's not the idea. Kagame built the country, and the country is one of the best nations in Africa. So we look at in other countries also to find leaders like that, like Magufuli. Magufuli talked about all these leaders who are dependent on debt. I don't know why. Like, you see Zimbabwe, we are crying like to join Commonwealth. Can we join Commonwealth? Can we join Commonwealth? There's no need of actually joining Commonwealth. If you are using the resources in your country properly, like gold, lithium, platinum, all this kind of stuff, which are really, really important to the nation. If the money was going to the national coffers and we are getting like 50-something% of those from those minerals, definitely we're going to build Zimbabwe in a better way. But because whatever is happening right now, somebody is selling it to put the money wherever they're putting it. It's kind of crazy, but just remember, take this as a lesson, because in Angola, they had these similar arrangements whereby all the oil which was being produced in Angola was going into the coffers or into the bank account of the president and the president's daughter, Isabel dos Santos. She was one of the richest women in the world. But if you look at it now, because the guy who was the vice president when he was the president became the president, and he froze everything for Isabel, So then you take all the wealth back into the nation. So we are the guys who are taking advantage of the nation right now, building mines and all doing all this kind of stuff. Be wary, because one day one president who might come and nationalize all this kind of stuff. Why? Because it's for the nation. It's not for individuals. It's saddening that it's only a small population of the country which will be benefiting from the resources of the nation. That's really hurts for anybody, People need to also be able to benefit from this. That's the thing as well. You can't even say like, I'm going back. If you're living in Ghana or Nigeria or these other places which are better, you can easily say, I'm going back to Nigeria and work in Nigeria and be successful, because most of the businesses in Nigeria, they are black owned. And then that's why you see most of the Nigerians, they got a lot of confidence, because they own their businesses. They own their economy. Most of the nations, especially in the southern, it's pathetic. Just a good leader. We need a good leader who can push the country forward. In any nation, I think that we need one leader who's revolutionary and who's going to come and change the country. I don't know, like South Africa, you see Malema, I don't know whether he can be trusted, but most of the things he has done so far, his pedigree is quite good, but I doubt when he was like marching for the anti-LGBT for Uganda. I don't know. Sometimes what he says, and sometimes they flip-flop on other things as well. Like right now, on the nuclear plant. When Zuma started talking about this thing, they opposed Zuma to put a nuclear plant in South Africa for electricity. But right now they're talking about it. So, EFF is on the forefront. So it's interesting, some of these things when they are happening, So the last thing which I have, which I think is beneficial to anybody, whether in Africa, whether you're in Australia, you're in UK, it's for non-UK. So when you're not in UK, or you're in UK but you're not a citizen, so there are benefits of. There's an opportunity for, actually, if you're a teacher. If you can teach any of the languages they consider as important, especially English, there's got 40% deficit for English teachers and physics teachers. So they give you 10 grand to relocate and go to UK and learn to be a teacher or to teach physics, and learn to be it's a pilot project to be a language teacher. It could be English. I don't know whether Spanish, French, and Dutch are included on those, but you need to check it out online and find the actual details on this one. But they give you £10,000 for you to move to UK. That's the best part about that issue. And that's our final story on GINR this week. We'll see you on another one. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed yet, can you subscribe, comment, and like our videos? Thank you for being here. See you on another one. Ciao.